All right, welcome back to the channel. Today we are installing a 6-point harness bar from Maximum Motorsports.
Roll bar.
What did I say?
Harness.
Fuck. All right, let's just restart. All right, 6-point harness bar. Fuck, 6-point roll
bolt
bar.
in.
6-point bolt-in roll bar. All right. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today Dan and I are installing a 6-point bolt-in roll bar from Maximum Motorsports.
Yeah, this is a bolt-in kit because we didn't want to tackle a weld-in kit. This is way more our speed, although we're still going to struggle through it, I'm sure. It took Todd a very long time to get this. He ordered it pre-Nationals, or ordered it well enough that we thought we would have it for Nationals. Did not come in. Finally came in late 2022.
It took over 8 months to get, so
Yeah.
not ideal.
And unfortunately, we found that one of the door bar mount plates is the wrong hand. We got two passenger sides and we need a driver and a passenger, so not good. Hopefully they'll be able to help us get that turned around quickly. We don't have to have that to get the roll bar mounted. We can mount the roll bar just the way it is and make it a 4-point roll bar, and then add the 2 extra points with the door bars later down the road. Hopefully it doesn't take long. We can get it all done in one go. I've already gone ahead and spray painted the mounting plates that go in the car that are not part of the roll cage itself, or roll bar itself. I did a texture black finish on those, just better than leaving them raw. Everything came just raw steel, so it started getting a little bit of surface rust on it. So if you're not going to install yours immediately, wipe it down with some WD-40 or something to keep it from rusting for a little bit. We will, once we get this all fitted, we'll get the roll bar back out and take it to get powder coated, and I think we're going to do a gloss red for that to go with the some of the red accents we have on the car.
They make this in multiple models, so we went with the 6-point with the removable door bars and the removable harness bar. That's just, I figured more customization the better. So they have different versions. They have ones without the door bars, one with a weld-in harness bar, one with a V bar on the back, or like a slanted bar for more stability. So kind of whatever floats your boat. So we've already got the car mostly stripped on the inside, so we'll get cranking and get this thing in. You'll see Maximum Motorsports provides a mount, I guess you call that?
Yeah, it's like a replacement body mount.
Yeah, so you can see it mimics what's already there. Our first step is to try to get this out of the car, and Dan's trying to work on that one, but I mean,
It's got seam sealer all underneath it, so I'm having to just slowly work away with the wrong tool.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get it done.
Oh, I guess I should get all the bolts out, huh?
Yes, sir.
So much easier when you take all the bolts off.
They come right off. Okay, guys, so you'll see that we've got this first mounting bracket in, and when you put this in, they specify this in the instructions, but I'll go over here once quickly. There's a specific order you need to tighten and torque these down. So if you're looking at it from this angle, you're going this one right here first. Then you're gonna come down and do the opposite right there. Actually, nope, that's a lie right here, sorry. Number one, number 2, and then you're gonna go 3, 4, 5, and then you're gonna go 6 right here, 7 right there, and then, yeah, sorry, these 2 hidden, 8 and then 9. So that's tightening, and then you have to go back and torque. So there are 2 sized bolts on this. Most of them are small. There's also 2 large ones. So for the 13 millimeters, yeah, then 2. Dan's currently torquing the 13 millimeters to 17 foot-pounds torque. And then the larger ones are 48 foot-pounds torque. Yeah, that's 3. I'll make sure to label these on the video so people know.
One thing I didn't mention before, when you set this, you clear out all the seam sealer and then you set this bracket in place, and you make sure that it bumps up against this surface and this surface as well as you can, and then you have to check the gap here and here and they provided some washers, and if there's more than an 1/8 inch gap, you have to slide washers in there to take up the gap so that when you bolt it down, it doesn't pinch this bracket real bad. So I've got 3 washers on this side and 1 here.
Good note. Okay, you'll see that Dan and I already got these bad boys torqued down in the car. So the next step, we're gonna attach these rear supports to the spuds. Just hand tighten them down and then fit it into the car. You'll see that he's just gonna hand tighten that, nothing too crazy. There you are. All right, so that wasn't terribly painful. We've got it seated fairly well, and what Dan's doing now, he's just marking where it should sit via Sharpie.
Because we got to clean that seam sealer off.
Yeah, so
sound deadening.
And whoever did this specific car really went ham on it, so there's a ton. So clear that off, and then that'll be where it officially mounts to the body, and then it'll meet a plate on the opposite side down here in the wheel well. So yeah,
Progress.
You can see that when we had the roll bar in, we marked where it laid, and then we came in with like a chisel and hammer and cleared out. Wow, chisel and hammer. Sorry, it's early. Cleared out here, cleaned it up a bit. So we did that on both sides. So now we'll put the roll bar back in, fit it, and go from there.
Door. Oh, this door pad's off. So. Did yours hit? Is it touching right now?
Nope.
It's not touching right now?
Nope. The closest point is down here, and I don't think it is, but almost.
Okay. When you open your door, does this thing shift back? Still not touching?
No. Okay, after putting it in and taking it out, putting it in, taking it out, we finally cleared these, drilled the holes on each side. There's 4 of them. Then we just put the bottom plates on the underside of the car. You can see the holes right there. And now we are in the process of trying to mark where these holes in the plate will go to drill it in and seat it with the actual roll bar. Okay, there you have it. Holes drilled. Now let's put the plates underneath. I'll kind of show you. This might not be the right side, but it'll sit. I mean, that's not the right side, but you get the idea. It'll sit up like that, and then the bar will tighten down on it. So lo and behold, we've run into yet another slight fitment issue.
So the directions say to use the 3/8/16 1-inch bolt in the main hoop mount plate. So here, 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 and here. And use the 3/4 inch 3/8/16 through the rear support, through the car, and through the doubler plate. So that's 3 thicknesses and some like gaps in there that you got to try and make up just to get the nut started. We couldn't even get the nut started through the doubler plates. So what we have made, the decision was to swap the locations of the bolts. We'll use the longer bolt in the rear main or rear support, and we'll use the shorter bolts in the main hoop. They're the same size bolt, so they should have the same, holding force. There's just a slightly less threads on the shorter one, obviously, but we're only going through one plate thickness and directly through the second plate thickness into a nut that's welded on this black plate right here. So you don't need all of that length. You'll have plenty of threads into the nut to clamp this part, so we can use that shorter bolt there, in my opinion. Now, I'm not the one that designed this kit, so I could be wrong, but it's just not going to work the other way.
Just a lot of tiny road bumps on this project, but we're making progress, I think.
Okay, we got the bar powder coated. Todd, actually, once we test fit everything, Todd took this back to St. Louis and had Izzy, what is the name of the shop?
Izzy's Custom Roll Cages.
Yeah, Izzy's Custom Roll Cages welded the rear support joints, which we needed to have done, and then he took it to, maybe you should do this. What was all the shops you mentioned?
So we took it to Izzy's Custom Roll Cages. He works out of the same building that SPS Motorsports in St. Louis works out of. They saved our asses last fall when the car theft happened. So he was able to, like Dan said, weld the rear supports, and then I took it to Quality Sandblasting after that, and they sandblasted the whole thing, and then I took it to Powder Works. These are all local St. Louis companies. Powder Works, and they did it in like a fire red, high gloss red.
So now it's back in the car. We've got it refitted. We're gonna have to maybe massage with a little bit of hammering to get the holes to line back up after the welding. And then we've got one more fitment issue where this bar, to get the door closed and not interfere with the door, we're gonna have to open up one of these holes a little bit to give us more rotational movement there. But after that, we should be doing final install, and we can replace the carpet down in there, and wrap this thing up.
Yeah. Okay, so Dan and I are in the process of trying to get these the door bars fitted, which require these door bar mounts to seat on the floor. And you'll see there's this sound deadening here, so we're removing it off of the top portions. Sorry, I know that light's very bright, but removing that so it'll sit to the floorboard easier. So, annoying process, but it'll make the fit and finish a lot better. So we knew post-painting we would likely have some fitment issues, and now those thoughts are all coming to reality as we try to get this thing seated. Gonna have to massage a lot of these parts by grinding like you just saw Dan doing, and hammering and all the fun stuff, but we'll get it in. Okay, we got one door bar in, so you'll see that mounting plate there. There's a mirrored plate on the other side of the body that we mount it to. So now we're gonna get that one in. What's after that? I guess mount the support beams. Those guys, you can see they don't have their bolts and nuts in yet.
See, they don't line up at all.
Yeah, that is bad. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in on that. You can see that gap is not supposed to be there. Yeah, so the gap was not there, but of course, when they welded that, just some fitment issues came about. So we're gonna have to hammer that in a little, I think. Okay, I think both door bar mounts are at least in. We haven't torqued them down yet because we need to finish up the back of the cage, but I'm gonna hand the camera to Dan. We kind of had some issues because we had to slightly push this bar towards the interior, which caused some issues with the alignment on the bottom, which line up with the fuel lines and stuff like that.
We're underneath the car on the doubler plate. You can see one of our bolts is very long because my torque wrench decided it doesn't want to be accurate anymore, and we twisted a bolt in half. So that was the bolt I had on hand. It's not going to matter. This is not the lowest point of the car, so it's okay. Now I'm wrapping this, I believe it's a brake line. We've actually bent them out a little bit to not touch the bolts that are on the other side. I don't know if you can even see that at all. But we're wrapping it with the one that's closer to the bolt with this sheath that was provided with the kit. Well, none of this is focusing, so that'll just give us a little bit more protection moving forward. And then we'll slap the cover back over top of all of this, and we'll move forward with the rear supports.
All right, as you can see, the roll bar is installed for the most part. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. So I like the way it looks. It looks good, especially after the powder coating and everything. We've torqued down all the double plates on the underside of the body. The only thing we really have left to do is cut the carpet for the door bars down here at the bottom, but outside of that, I think this job is wrapped up.
Yeah, it went okay. Definitely a two-man operation. You're going to need someone to help you out with most of this. I think the biggest takeaway that we got from this is that, I don't know what you paid for this. What was it?
$1,500.
$1,500. So probably for, I don't know, another $1,000, you could get a custom welded in, custom built roll cage put in your car. That's probably the move here. We struggled a lot with getting the bolt holes to line up, and then after we welded the rear supports, it wanted to move. Obviously, we knew that was going to happen, but it just is the way it is. And then it's also like a mass-produced roll cage, and you know, some of the tolerances just didn't line up, and so we had a problem with this door bar. All things that would be resolved if you just did a custom cage. So that's our takeaway. We still love this. We're happy it's in here. It makes us feel more comfortable if we hit the track for track day. So all around, we're happy. Just our takeaway for that.
Yeah. So one more build off the list, and we've got only a few more. So T-minus 2 weeks or something.
Yeah. Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah. So until test and tune, which would be a good day for us to finally get the car out on the track with no real repercussions as far as
you're not going
events
to miss out
goes.
on an event if you break something.
Right. So
although we have the first event the next day, so we have a real quick turnaround.
yeah, and our history with test and tune is not great. I think we made it halfway through one run last year before our exhaust fell off. So
yeah.
bad for us. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you chose to watch this roll bar video, thanks for choosing us and finding us, and we appreciate all the love and support. So we'll see you on the next build.
That's right. Bye.